What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Talk Punch. My name is Brody Hanson, here with Charlie Hickman. And today
Oh,
we are talking about the movie theater experience versus the streaming experience. Kind of where we think this, where it's all going, you know.
well said.
Especially with all the COVID stuff and movies being put on hold and movies going straight into the streaming, what does that mean for other movies? What do we think?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about today. So to start out, Charlie, what was do you remember your first movie going experience? Your first theater experience?
Yeah. No, because I think I was like pretty tiny. I want to say the first movie I ever saw in the theaters was E.T. So sorry for being super old. But I think E.T. came out in 1982. And
yeah.
I don't think I would have been old enough to. And my mom to this day still brings up the fact that I had to like use the bathroom in the middle of the movie, or right at the beginning or something. And if I was like 2 or 3 years old, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable, as a parent now, I can't imagine bringing a 2 or 3 year old to a movie and then being like upset that they needed to use the restroom at an inconvenient time. Like, what are you doing? You're 3. You're supposed to be able to hold your bladder for 2.5 hours while we watch like a half hour worth of trailers and a full movie. What's going on? I bought you this big giant soda, so I don't understand. So you know what? When this is over, I'm gonna call her up, and I'm gonna. Well, either I'm going to give her a hard time because I just always taken the abuse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm still apologizing now. On her birthday, I'll call her. I'm like, sorry, Mom. I'm sorry I ruined E.T. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to flip the tables now. I'm going to feel fired up. What about you, bro? What was your first movie going experience?
I know what it is. It was Conan the Barbarian, but that came out.
You weren't even alive when that came out. What are you talking about?
It came out the same year I was born, 1982. I was a baby, and the story that my mom's yes. What?
Were we in the same theater? In 82, were we in the same movie theater?
Probably
you were in Conan and I was in ET. We were at the same theater. All right.
I mean, yeah,
all right.
This
is happening.
I guess it's possible.
This is what we call a meet cute.
I didn't know that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But the story goes was that my mom like convinced the community college teacher that it was like a historical film, and so they did like a class trip or something like that, and yeah, and so, for some reason she brought along her
historical film.
Her baby. I mean, I was a new baby.
What did you think? Would you like it? It was good.
I love that movie. It's still a great movie. That movie holds up. And that's, boy, I can't imagine now taking a baby to a theater. If I was sitting in the theaters and I saw somebody come in with a baby carrier, it's just, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to imagine, and in that particular movie too, I remember I saw Watchmen in theaters, and there's like that kind of long sex scene in the middle of it, and the whole movie's pretty violent. And right behind me is this like 8-year-old with his family, and so that sex scene hits, and I just feel like this awkward tension of like this family behind me that decided to bring. They're like, oh, it's a comic book movie. This will be great. We'll bring the kid, and just sitting. And it's like, and I kind of want to just don't cover your eyes, son.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that. I had the exact same thing where Amy and I went to see Watchmen, and a grandpa and his grandson come in. And grandson he might have even been younger than 8. And they walked in and they sat 1 or 2 rows ahead, and I was like, "You have no idea what you are going to watch."
It's bonding. That's a bonding moment.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So streaming, so we the movie theater experience is this still a thing? Is there still, a movie theater experience?
Right.
I mean, where do you kind of fall? What are your pros and cons of a movie theater experience versus something like Mulan that we saw just come on straight to Disney Plus, and you can pay $30 for it.
Yeah,
it's kind of pricey, but for you to take your wife and 2 kids,
sure,
still cheaper.
If this were a different like time, I think we maybe we would have had like a Mulan party and had, you know, themed food, and you know, you pay $30, but then you pack out the room with a bunch of people. It's like back in the day, my dad would do pay-per-view boxing matches, you know, and people would come over to watch Mike Tyson or whatever, and you know, and everybody chips in a couple of bucks, and we have, you know, you make a night out of wrestling. Yeah, it's look, I'm a bit of a, I don't know if curmudgeon is the right word that I want to say here, but I haven't liked going to the movies for a long time. And I've had some good experiences in the theater, and there was a time in my life where it was really fun to get out of the house, to go see the theater. And the theater was something that was really necessary for a long time. But there are things in our lives, all sorts of things, that are the way they are because they have been. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of maybe a weird way to say that, but just because something has always been doesn't mean it's always good. I'm sure there were people when the drive-in theaters kind of went away that were super like bummed. And now you'll see like nostalgia-driven drive-in theaters kind of coming back. I know, like actually in my hometown here in Irvine, the Spectrum had like a drive-in theater, like a pop-up drive-in theater with the Goonies because of you know, all the COVID stuff. So they kind of had like a big screen and projected on there, and people drove their cars and parked up. And I think there's some nostalgia to that. And I think that the theater has always been headed in that direction. I think that we're seeing an acceleration in some of these things, and whether it's going to bounce back a little bit and rebound a little bit, I'm not totally sure. But you know, we've been seeing this with brick and mortar stores, you know, with Amazon just like taking over the world, and you know, just it's less convenient for people to go. It's more expensive for people to go. The experience varies dramatically. If you have a family, taking them, getting them any sort of you know, concession stand foods and drinks, and then trying to sit through a movie, it's pricey. And if you go to the discount theaters, then you feel the discount in terms of the quality of the seats and the theater and the screen and the sound.
And just the quality of people. Like people don't seem to care as much. You know, when we miss a movie and then we go to here in Reno, you know, the budget theaters in a casino. And so when we've missed a movie and we're like, oh my goodness, we want to see this in theaters, we go. And that's when you have the people that are just on their phones, and the chairs are awful and people just don't care.
Yeah. Have you been, so when you go to the, out for a date now, do you guys do like the reserved seating, like alcohol, food, like reclinable chairs kind of theaters, or do you guys still go to like just a regular nice theater?
So around here, pretty much all of the theaters have converted to the reclining seats. You can buy alcohol. We don't have an Alamo where you can like have food ordered and then have it come to you, but they have, you know, some food inside, but pretty much they all have the reclining seats and things like that. So that's normally where we go.
That's cool. Yeah, those are nice. Hey, look, my first date ever was at the movies. My first kiss, Mighty Ducks. Watch the Mighty Ducks. I got no moves. I'm not smooth at all, but you know, I'm watching the Mighty Ducks with my girlfriend, and she's like, the female skater comes on that they're gonna recruit to play. She's really good at ice skating, and she's like, oh, I bet you think she's pretty. I bet you want to kiss her. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be smooth right here. I'm like, no. I'd much rather kiss you. And then she grabs me and she's like, whoa. And there was tongue in my mouth, and I had no idea what was happening. And it was my first kiss, and it was an experience. And it used to be, you know, getting dropped off at the theater was cool. We meeting a friend or going on a date. It was fun. And then at college, it was nice. We had a mutual friend, Brody and myself, who worked at a movie theater who would get us in for free, which was like really ruined movies forever, probably.
Well, and
it was so nice, just anytime you wanted, free.
And there was that time when I remember I was seeing every single movie that was in theaters, and the stuff that I did.
How many times did you see Spider-Man? Was that the one that you saw the most?
11, I think. I want to say 11. I can't remember though. But
is that your record?
No, I went one more on Batman Begins just because it was Batman.
Oh, that's right.
I felt obligated. Yeah. But by then he was not at the theater, so I had to pay for it, and so that got pricey. But that was back in 2004, whatever.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we used to go to the theaters all the time. All the time we were at the theaters, and it was great.
Yeah.
It is harder now.
Like it is. Yeah. And especially with we're both family men. It's like a $50+ commitment.
Yeah. We both have kids. I think I've taken my kids to, I don't know, I could probably count on one hand how often my kids have been to the movie theaters. It's just not much. And I have 4 kids, so to take 6 people to the movie theaters at $12, $15 a pop, there's a lot of things we could do with that amount of money.
It's you spare yourself 6 movie visits and you got a Disneyland ticket for the family. No, it's hard. And look, there are times you go to the movie and it's look, there's something about being in a lively atmosphere to like experience something. There are definite, like I remember like you and I the night before Phantom Menace, right? And the energy, I think that movie going experience, like I still like the movie just crapped the bed. It was just a terrible, terrible movie. And I'm sure we'll talk about all the Star Wars movies at some point. But the pregame this was something else. This is like, it's like being at the Super Bowl, and then of course your team gets blown out in the Super Bowl, so you hate the game. But the pregame was like, yes, everyone, people in costumes and dressed up, and people camped out for like days to get like good seats, and it was crowded, and I didn't care that there were probably tall people sitting in front of us. It was just like this. I can't wait to see the movie. And then like with a lot of movies, it was kind of like a sad trombone. It's just really a letdown, which is hard when you're paying that much money and camping out and holding it. We waited in line for a long time to see that. I cannot imagine doing that now. There's not like a thing they could do. There's not a movie they could create. It could be the story of my life starring me. And they'd be like, we'll give you like $100,000 to come. And I would do it, but I would do it begrudgingly. And I would complain the entire time. And I would bring a comfortable chair. Because I'm an old man.
Thankfully with, at least up here, with all the seats being reserved, waiting in line is really a thing of the past. You buy the
seating is nice.
You buy the tickets online and you can show up whenever you want and your seats are just there. Yeah. That is a definite. Tall people
in front of you?
No, all of ours have done really the stadium. It's got like a little wall between all the seats, and so it really doesn't matter who sits in front of you or behind
so classy.
you. It doesn't matter who sits in front of you or behind you because everything reclines and is built in such a way that you don't see anything really, which is really nice because there are those pet peeves of people bringing out their phone and stuff like that, and having that wall between really blocks any visibility to anybody else, because really that's just the worst. There's been some really bad experiences with going to see a movie and having people a couple rows in front of you just bringing out their phone, and you're like, what are you doing? And so
there are people I'm sure that are watching, and so many people in this world I'm sure that have really passionate and fond connections to the theater, and a lot of that I think depends on where you grew up. There's certainly social economic factors that go into that as well. Familial things. I've got 2 memories of movies with my family. One, well, not even memories. Just one is me apparently being a jerk and having to pee as like a 2 or 3-year-old. At ET, and then one is for my younger sister's birthday. She decided she wanted to take everyone to go see Lord of the Rings, and my mom came, and it was like just however, like, was it 3-hour movie of just her complaining about how loud it was.
Oh, goodness.
And about how, like, what is happening in the story and why is it so loud, and just loudly complaining. Oh my gosh. And so my family didn't take me to the movies. I don't have that like really great memory of me and my dad going to see something, or it's just like when I got old enough to be dropped off to go see movies, they would drop me off, and that was so. Yeah. So I don't have like that, like there's not that connection. So it's more about just the individual experiences that I've had. And while some of those are great memories, I'm like, I'm ready. It's kind of, it's like, hey, going to the grocery store can be fun, but also staying at home and ordering things online is great.
Yeah.
Like that's not Amazon Fresh. Let's do it. Go.
Now, so we're coming down a bit hard on theaters. Is there anything that would bring you to a movie theater? Is there a certain type of movie? Is there an actor? Is there a franchise? Is there something that you're like, this is something that I need to see in theaters?
And look, this is probably me being in the minority, and I can recognize that. So I'm not saying that my views are what yours or anyone else's views should be. Mm-hmm. And there are certain things, like where I'm passionate about a movie I like or a show I like, where I'll defend that, tooth and nail, I'll die on that hill. This is like so preference oriented. I don't like to go to concerts anymore. There was a time where that was really fun. I don't think you could pay me to go see a concert now. And I played it in a band my whole life. And even towards like, we're rocking and we're playing and then it's like, okay, but I don't want to go see a band. People can come see my band. I don't want to go see a band. I don't want to go see movies in the theater anymore. It just doesn't. I don't know that there's anything that could happen. And I thought about this, like what would drive me to kind of want to go to the theater again. And look, if it was cheaper,
okay. If
it was like, if I could get a quality experience, like more affordably, that's great. I don't like date nights. Like, if Amy and I get to go out on a date, I would much rather do that somewhere where we can talk and converse as adults without the kids than go just like locked down in a movie. In fact, like movies at home are a great way to have like a little cuddly date with the kids, because we can kind of put that on and everyone can be entertained and we can kind of be close together. Whereas like a movie theater, it's just, I don't know. We don't get to talk. We don't get to like have that kind of personal time. It's just like we're locked in this theater for however long, and then we get to go. So I don't know. I don't know that there's like a thing that's gonna drag me to the theater. Look, some theaters are doing like almost like a subscription package. Yeah. I know like AMC and some Regals have like the $23 a month. You get unlimited movies.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible to me. Like I get why people would be excited about that, but because again, you have to drive there, you have to go there. I got to pay for babysitters, or I got to bring my kids. It's just complicated. However, if I was like 19 again and single, and it's like, oh, $23 a month, I can go see all these movies, I'd probably be super into that. So life stage really plays a big role for me. You know how much I love baseball. I don't want to go to baseball games anymore. It's so long. It's so hard. It's like a 5-hour commitment. It's so hard to do that now. And just too much going on with work and family and podcasts. It's tough. Well, I mean, what about you? If they re-released all of the Batman films, or would you go? Okay, 1988 Batman re-released, new ending. You can only see in the theaters.
It was 1989, Charlie.
80, oh, come on. No. Look, I've got the poster. Don't question my Batman knowledge, man. I got 2 posters from my favorite Batman movie. Look at all these comics I got. I got tattoos of Batman everywhere on my body.
Oh my goodness.
Lower back, Batman, Batarang. Come on.
So
all right, so 1989.
I actually do enjoy going to the theaters.
No, don't start with me.
It's and not for everything. I think Amy and I still do like going to the theaters, especially for some movies. All the Marvel movies. I've seen every Marvel movie in the theaters. We saw
like Thor 2. You saw in the theaters?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Every single one of them. Some of them multiple times. And so, every Harry Potter we saw in theaters. And there's just some movies that I'm like, I really want to see that. One of my favorite movies of all time, Interstellar, I missed in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't see it until it came out. And I love Christopher Nolan. And I remember seeing the trailers and I remember saying, I need to go see that. But right around that time was like, there were a bunch of babies in the house. And, you know, it's just hard to get out. And there have been times where Amy has said, hey, if there's a movie you want to see, go see it, you know, and that's fine. And I have done that on occasion where I'm just like, okay, there's a movie I really want to see, so I'm going to go out and go see a movie. And she's fine with that. But there is still something for me about the movie theater experience, about having the big screen, about having the sound that, you know, I've got like the sound bar and the 5.1 and, you know, like it's nothing super.
Brody's got like a legit home theater. It's basically like sitting in a Regal or an AMC.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's wild, man.
And so having all of that and getting the Atmos, you know, and the, you know, all of that, those bells and whistles that you get.
I'm sorry. Can we just pause real quick? Did you just drop an Atmos on me? Is that like atmosphere but shortened? Is that what just happened?
No, Atmos. It's like a sound thing. It's like a special sound mix. Oh gosh, now you put me on the spot.
An Atmos? Okay.
Atmos. I think it's a Dolby thing.
Well, you could say Dolby then. I mean, I don't know about this Atmos stuff. All
Dolby
right.
Atmos
I'm probably the jerk here because
a powerful audio technology that allows you to experience multidimensional sound with incredible clarity that envelops you in an immense ... because Google didn't tell me all. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's not me being hip.
All right. I thought you got hip on me and you just abbreviated atmosphere to Atmos and I had to call you out on that.
No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
All right, Atmos.
And so getting the Atmos, getting all of the Dolby stuff, all the video stuff, there is something that I still like to that. Do I need to see every movie in theaters now? No way. You know, if there's a kid movie that comes out, my family and I will wait for it to come out. If there's a comedy, I can wait for comedies. Really, it's the big blockbuster special effects sound.
Sure.
I want to experience that as best I can. Or Christopher Nolan. I need to go see Tenet. And so I do still try to get out. It is not nearly what it was 20 years ago, but there is still something that I do still enjoy. Now, on the flip side of that, being at home and streaming something is very nice.
Very nice.
It is nice. I can make my own food. I can make my own drinks.
Yes.
I can sit on my own couch.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot that is great about streaming.
And if your 2 or 3-year-old needs to pee, you just pause the movie and then you don't have to hard time them for the rest of their lives about it.
Yes, being able to pause is another thing, you know. All right, guys, we're going to pause. Everybody go upstairs and get your pajamas on and then come back downstairs and we'll finish.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah, it is.
Did you guys watch Trolls World Tour?
We did not.
Yeah. It's free now on Hulu. So it's gone through the paid process and it's now out. That was cute. We watched that with the family. I can understand why they were trying to do more like family releases during this. It seems like that's going to have more legs, more things to gather around. Something like Mulan, where you're more incentivized to want to spend that money because it's not just something for mom and dad, but something for like the whole family. I can see why they're trying to release it in that way.
Disney did the same thing with the ongoing, the Disney Pixar ongoing movie. Yeah. You know, that was
sad.
That came out in theaters like right as COVID hit, and then like 3 weeks later, they were like, you know what, it's going on to Disney Plus, and you know, we made a movie night. We have a family movie night every Friday night, and so we all sit and we watch a movie and eat pizza and stuff like that. And so that was a movie night, and that was nice because for sure there was no way I was going to see that in theaters,
right?
And so to be able to have that option to just put it out there right after it gets, you know, released. Now, granted, my kids don't track release dates. They're not waiting for movies to come out, so I don't have kind of that pressure of like, Dad, the movie's coming out. You know, we really want to see it, and kids are talking about it in school. You know, that's not a thing yet. I'm sure I will get to that point, but yeah. So there are the benefits of streaming.
Look, it's New Mutants. Is that the one that's out that you were really excited for, and that you were saying it's really incredible, and that you wanted to go see right now? Is that no? Okay.
No.
New Mutants is out right now. You're not rushing to theaters to see that?
No, I'm not, and I'll see it when it comes onto streaming. That's not one that I care enough about to go spend the money on.
Or you might not, because everyone seems to think it's terrible.
But I've heard mixed things. Be
your own judge.
I've heard mixed things. Some people say it's good, and some people say it's the worst X-Men movie, which is bad because there's some really bad ones out there.
Oh, there are some really bad. We should do an episode just on the X-Men movies. Maybe once there's rumors of the new X-Men coming back. Once Marvel starts kind of pipeline in that.
Boy, the idea of rewatching all of those sounds rough, though. It would have to be done, Charlie.
We're gonna have to. We'll have to have some bets, and the loser has to watch like X-Men 3. I'll take.
I'd watch X-Men 3 before Dark Phoenix any day.
Oh no, you're doing all of X3 and on, which means you get First Class. First Class was good. Anyway.
Anyways, Dark Phoenix. Yeah, not Dark Phoenix. New Mutants. New Mutants here just came out, and is making nothing. Now, is that a COVID thing? Possibly. People don't really want to go to the theaters. Is there something else to it? Do people just not want to see it? Possibly. But it's not making its money back. There's no way. While Disney is now releasing Mulan for $30 a pop, and I don't think they've released any figures on that, but
I'm curious to see how that does. Are you guys gonna watch that? Are you guys gonna rent that?
That's one that I know Amy really wants to see, and so I think I'll wait to see when it's going to come onto regular streaming. If we're only looking at a few months, then we might wait. If they're saying like sometime next year, sometime in 2021, something like that, then maybe, because for a family of 6, that's only $5 a person.
Yeah, it's nice.
So we'll see. Do I want to pay $30 to stream something at home? No, not really.
Yeah.
Do I want to pay $2, $3, and pick it up from a red box or something like that? I could do that. And so, I don't know. For me, it is very much depends on the movie. I have my styles that I'd like to see in theaters, and I have my styles that I don't care about as much. But or if it's an actor or a franchise that I really like.
Is there an actor that draws you to the theater? Is that I wanted to because you mentioned that earlier when to me I can't think, there's not for me anymore, at least, like a connection that I have to like an actor or an actress that's so powerful that just their name alone would be like, oh, I got to watch this because they're in it. But do you have like, is Christian Bale that for you? Like if Christian Bale's in something, are you like, okay, I'm in?
No. I like Christian Bale. Machinist was weird. But recently he was in Ford versus Ferrari or something like that. I didn't see that. And so
I think you're thinking of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane with Andrew Dice Clay.
No idea what you're talking about. No, it's him and Matt Damon or something. Come on now.
Matt Damon. Do your Team America. Come
on. Is there anybody?
Brody used to love this movie called Team America, and he was watching.
I was the only one in the world that had it.
He was the only one. And everyone else in the world was like, "What is this?" And Brody's like, "No, I'm in." And I remember, he's like, "You got to watch this," and he puts it in, and I'm watching it, and I fell asleep, and I not because it was bad, by the way, just because I was exhausted. And then I woke up, and it was during the middle of the longest puppet sex scene, and I was in that like weird half dream, half awake state, and I don't know what's happening on the television because it's super weird. And I'm like, why the puppets? What are they doing to each other? What's happening? Brody, I'm so tired. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. I don't know if that one holds up.
Probably doesn't.
Probably not. I don't know.
That's another episode for another time.
Yeah.
But you can't get that in the theater experience.
I'm trying to think of any actors that are draws. Back in the day, if an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie came out, I was there. If a Tom Cruise action movie came out, like, I was in. Who nowadays? I don't know. Ryan Reynolds, maybe. Like, but that's not even a guarantee. It would be like, oh, okay, I'll check the trailer. I don't know. I don't know if there is an actor that is like the headlining actor, that's like, I'll see every single one of his movies in theaters. I don't know if I have that now.
I think a lot of like the world's been changing and will always be changing. It's not like some deep thought, but we've been moving away, I think, from like the movie star icon for a while now, like just drifting away from that. And I think there's like lots of reasons, and we could really get deep into that, and we don't need to tonight, but just like the idea of like the movie star as the draw is important when information about something is hard to access. So pre-internet, and all you know about a movie is the title, and maybe like if you're lucky enough to see a trailer in the theater or a newspaper article, or back in the day, Siskel and Ebert TV show or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to find information, and so therefore it's like sight unseen. It's like, okay, oh, I know Tom Hanks, so it's probably that's enough to kind of get me there. But now information is so easily accessible. Trailers are so easily accessible from home. You can read reviews easily accessible from home. It could be a movie full of actors or actresses that I've never heard of. And if the plot sounds interesting, then it's like, okay, that's cool. I want to see that. And you see that, I think, a lot like on streaming services. It's like, okay, that looks intriguing. I'll give it a chance. And that's another, like, a really nice thing about streaming is you can take chances on things. And like theaters are great. Like when you, like, if you reference the Marvel movies, like, okay, I know that I want to see that. I kind of know what I'm getting. Yeah. But, even so, like Knives Out, I really enjoyed, and I didn't see that in the theaters, and I kind of wish I had. It was a really enjoyable film, but I don't know that it's going to be enjoyable. I mean, other people liked it, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to like it. And so it's just with streaming, it's nice. I can start. Paul Rudd's in a movie. I've never heard of it. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then like, oh, this is terrible. All right, on to the next. And there's no life lost. I don't feel obligated to waste 2 hours of my life because I paid for it. So it is nice to have those options, but I do think that there's less of a need to anchor for film studios or for people to anchor themselves into a star and pour millions and millions of dollars into a star's contract and already start a movie so far behind, unless it's like a Marvel machine. Maybe you can punch this up for it. I want to say, like, in 2019, out of the top grossing films in the theater, like it was like all the way down to like number 18 or something like that, was like the Quentin Tarantino, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Everything else above that was like from a franchise. It was like a sequel. It was like a Disney or a Marvel or a superhero, like something from DC. Like there's just not a lot of like big, like a lot of budget stuff that's coming to the theaters outside of these like blockbuster franchises anymore. That's really going to be a huge draw, which is fine. Like I'm a musician, and so I think about music a lot, and for a long time, like access to recording equipment was a huge barrier. Yeah. It was expensive. You had to pay money. You had to go to a studio, and anything you could get at home was cheap, like quality, or like super expensive. And now, like, you grab a laptop and some cables, and anybody can record something and make it sound good. Yeah. So it's never been easier to record music. So there's just never been more quality music in the world. But with that, it deludes the idea of like needing it to be one artist. This idea that it has to be this one band. I teach music lessons, and a lot of the kids that come in, that, it doesn't have to be, they don't care about the band. They just like the style, and it's very interchangeable to them. They don't have that necessarily that deep connection to like one artist anymore that like I had growing up. Is this the Chainsmokers? Like, Granted, all their stuff sounds the same. So let's Imagine Dragons. Oh, okay, cool. Like we'll just swap them in and swap them out. Like, oh, okay, this is it's Alec Benjamin or whoever. And there are icons like Taylor Swift or Beyonce or people that certainly like have, Ariana Grande, people who have risen above kind of like just their music that are known for a lot more than just like that one singular activity, and that still sell out tours and stuff. I just think it's more rare. I don't think that there's whether it's movies or music or art, I think it's so easy. Now cameras, there's movies entirely shot on iPhones. Like you can make independent films, and there's so many new voices, which is so exciting. Like the diversification that's happening now that you're seeing with different people from different cultures and different ethnicities, different genders, like being able to produce content and tell their stories. It's really exciting, and streaming really opened the door for a lot of that, for people to really tell their stories and to tell them in a way that didn't require these $100 million budgets. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm tangenting.
No, you're fine.
To you, bro.
So I'm looking at the box office of 2019. So Endgame, Lion King, Frozen 2, Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Joker, Rise of Skywalker, Toy Story 4, Aladdin, Jumanji, Fast and Furious, Niza. I don't know what that is. This is worldwide. Niza? That could be a.
Oh, okay.
I should look at domestic. But yeah, so basic idea is like, yes, these are franchises, and I think that seems like it's kind of where we are, is that there's a franchise that comes out and you follow the franchise, and does it matter who's acting in it? Does it, if they recast Iron Man, doesn't mean I'm not going to go see Iron Man. A Marvel movie to me is a Marvel movie. I'll go see it kind of regardless of who's in it. And so could that be reversed? Is there an actor that I would go see just because he's in a movie? And I can't think of one. So yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're kind of in the age of franchises.
Sure.
And that's, if you don't like franchises, then, there is stuff. I mean, like I saw Joker in here. Do you count Joker as a franchise? I mean, it's part of the Batman mythos, and so you could probably lump it into the DC as as far as like original stories that aren't based on any type of intellectual property. Then yeah, what were you saying? Like it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or something like that was. Was kind of the next one,
like number 19 or 20.
Knives Out, yeah, and Knives Out was great, and I loved Knives Out, and it was great to be able to see movie that I didn't know, I didn't know about because I hadn't read the book, I hadn't read the comic book, I hadn't seen, it wasn't a remake, it was just like an original movie, and that was fun to see.
Yeah, it's a nice original story, and look, and I think that everybody says that they want more of that. But also with the flip side of that, it's like, how compelled are you to go spend upwards of $15 a person to go see a story like that in a theater? So it's like, we want better stories, but we also don't want to consume them in the traditional way that we've consumed them. So it's an interesting dichotomy. And again, lots of people, obviously lots of people went and saw Knives Out in the theater, and good for them because it was good. And I hope they do make a sequel. Of course, then the sequel won't count because it's just a follow-up. So then it just blends into the reboot, sequel, franchise mythos.
Yeah. So it is, I agree. It is tough to take a chance on stuff, and I'm less likely to, where 20 years ago.
Nija, I just looked that up. That looks really good. So I think we missed that, and we should apologize profusely, and we should watch it because.
Is it a foreign movie?
Yes, and it's an animated film from China. It looks good. Looks intriguing. Okay. So.
Well, on the global list, it was up there.
Well, hey, the Globe knew what they were doing. We just didn't. Good job. Hey, good job, world.
So, I mean, do you have any actors or anything like that you feel like you follow nowadays?
No, I don't. And I feel like I'm getting less like, look, I used to really have this like trivia mind for movies and actors, and I used to really enjoy that stuff. And we play nerdy the movie game where one person says a movie, the next person says an actor, and then pick a new movie that actor's been in. Or we play the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and trying to link actors together. I had my whole DVD collection was linked together.
I remember
through
that.
an actor that was in each movie. But you couldn't reuse any actors, so you'd have like a Tom Cruise section, and then Tom Cruise would be in Far and Away with Nicole Kidman, and then that she was in this movie with this person. And
I remember that it just was intense. And
I had a lot of DVDs. It was really fun. I'd pull out all my DVDs and I'd be like, oh, Danny Nucci's in this, awesome. Danny Nucci's in this too, or and so I got to know a lot of like random actors and actresses names and connections, and now it's like I can just on my phone so instantaneously find it. It's like memorizing phone numbers. I can still remember 551-9501 was like Barrow's Pizza back in the day. Like I call, is my favorite pizza joint, and I call and order pizza. So that phone number, I'll be on my deathbed and I'll look up and I'll know that phone number. My wife's phone number right now, if I had to recite it, it would. I don't know. I can do it, I think, but it might take me a couple of tries. I have definitely called the wrong number in a situation using someone else's cell phone to call her. So I don't have numbers memorized because I don't need to, So information is just like, there's that side of it too. It used to be really fun to argue with people about stuff like, oh, who was that? Was it Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton in that film? And no, it was Bill Pullman. It's Bill, and you have like these big conversations. And now it's like, oh, it's Bill Pullman. Oh, okay, cool. So it just doesn't. I don't know. So for me, like, there's a lot of new actors and actresses that I'm sure are incredibly talented, whose names I do not know. Like you were saying in New Mutants, starring
Macy Williams.
The actress.
Macy Williams.
Yes. And I was like, and you're like, Arya Stark. Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen Game of Thrones. I don't know her name, but and it's nothing personal against her. She's fantastic. She was wonderful in Game of Thrones. But I just learning people's names. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. That's hard.
Yeah, there is.
So long answer to your question. To make a long story short.
Too late.
We're gonna work on that, bro. By podcast number 4, you're gonna be like, too late. All right, go ahead.
So I guess my opinion on the whole thing is I still go to the theaters for some stuff. I prefer the bulk of the stuff though to stream. Unless it's a Marvel movie, unless it's a Christopher Nolan movie, unless it's, I find some new franchise. I don't know. It's tough. It is tough.
You see all the Harry Potter reboot films when they come out.
See, well, and here's the thing is we saw the Harry Potters in theaters, but I didn't see any of the Fantastic Beasts in theaters.
Yeah.
And so there's, and I see a lot of theaters right now kind of doing the nostalgia stuff where it's like, oh, come see Raiders of the Lost Ark in theaters. And I'm kind of like, but that's available on Netflix.
Yeah. You're such a Hufflepuff, bro.
I'm not a Hufflepuff.
You're such a Hufflepuff.
I'm not.
It's okay.
I'm not.
All right.
So, yeah.
Comment down below if you think Brody's a Hufflepuff, because I think we all know.
Hey,
you can tell with the beard. He's really a Hagrid is what he is. Can you give us a little Hagrid right now?
According to Pottermore, I am a Slytherin. With a black swan Patronus.
Who this man?
You can't argue with Pottermore, Charlie. You can't do it.
All right.
You can't do it.
I'm a Ravenclaw according to Pottermore, so I don't know. Fine. It's fine. Me and your wife, we're both Ravenclaws.
It's true. It's true.
You married a female version of me, and that's okay.
It's true. I did. So
look, the streaming experience isn't perfect either, and like I tease my wife because we cut the cord. We got rid of cable.
Yeah.
And then, so then I every now and then I'm like, oh man, you know what someone should do is they should take all these different streaming services and then bundle them together into like one place where you can just pay for it, and it's all in one location, like cable. It's brilliant, because you know we got Hulu and Disney Plus, and we got Amazon Prime, and we got Netflix, and it's like, oh, do we want HBO Max? That looks nice, and oh, CBS All Access, the Peacock. Oh, you know, so we're gonna end up with like 15 streaming services. Is like just not sustainable. So you know, we have the 4 right now, and I don't know. I do want to add HBO Max. I really do, and maybe we will. So like, there's a lot of different, you know, there's financial factors for certain, like, I know some people out there even share passwords and accounts, but you know, the home experience for us is really nice. And look, we had a baby, you know, a little over a year ago. So I'm a tired man, bro. I'm a tired man. So
I understand.
That's, you know, maybe we have this conversation a year from now. I'll be like, oh, going out, that sounds amazing because I've got energy. Yeah. But right now, no, I'm just a beaten down man.
Well, yeah, and the HBO Max, you know, they're doing
It's
interesting stuff with theirs too.
They
you
are
know,
doing interesting stuff.
The Justice League stuff. You know, hey, I saw Justice League in theaters and it was bad. You know, and then they're going to release the Snyder Cut. You know, hopefully it's better. Will I pay for HBO Max for a month so that I can watch that? Probably.
There you go.
But then I can cancel at the end.
Job done.
I do the same thing.
No. Keep it going. It's good stuff.
It's too much money. Too much money. We do Amazon and Disney Plus and Netflix, and that's all we pay for. And really, we paid for Disney Plus before it was released, and we got the 3-year bundle.
Yeah.
And so we paid like $120 or something like that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so we still have like 2 more years to go. We're not paying anything right now.
We did that, and then Verizon was like offering free Disney Plus. I think we're subscribed to like 2030.
Nice.
For like $120. And we got like a bunch of free years. So
nice.
So
I'm excited about what these streaming services are doing. I'm excited that Netflix is kind of taking chances with some of their movies. Putting out original content, the stuff that Disney Plus is doing, you know, and how quickly I think they might be bringing their films from the theater to Disney Plus streaming is interesting, and it's cool. I remember back in the day when you would go to a theater and then you wouldn't see anything on VHS or DVD for 6 months plus, you know, and by that time you kind of forget about it, and then it comes out and you're like, oh yeah, that movie was a good movie or something like that. So I'm excited about where it's going. You know, do I want theaters to go away? No, you know, like I said, I still like that, but also having the option to not have to go to the theater. And for me and my wife to go to the theater, it's like $28, you know, and that's like for the basic theater. If we want to go see IMAX, you know, add another $10 plus on that, you know, even
the second mortgage and you're good.
Even the Atmos, you know, I think adds a little bit, you know, and it sucks having to go to a dollar theater or I think it's like $3 or something like that. I don't like doing that because at that point it's like, this is a waste. I would rather watch it at home, you know, and is the experience the same? No, you know, I don't have the sound. I don't have the screens. I don't have, you know, the popcorn. But it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Ultimately, I'm excited to see what they do, but I don't know. I don't want the theaters to go away. And I don't think they will. I think we'll still see theaters. They're not going anywhere. I think they took a hit with all this COVID stuff, but movies will still be coming out, which is good.
Yeah, movies will be coming out. I do think I think competition is good in general, and I still remember my buddy Dave and I would get together every week and we would watch The Sopranos or The Wire or whatever HBO show was coming out, Carnival or whatever, and we would just every week we'd watch an episode of this, and there's just nothing like it on television. And for young people who, you know, maybe weren't, you know, of like an appropriate age to watch The Sopranos, or just missed it, I think that probably a lot of them will go back and watch it and be kind of like, they'll get it. And that's totally fair, because they've seen stuff since then that's just as good or maybe even better, that, you know, that The Sopranos really paved the way for. But that at the time it was so revolutionary, and it opened up new avenues for storytelling. And you saw networks pick up on that, and cable networks, and, you know, FX, and people, you know, Breaking Bad, and just different, you know, show after show that you can kind of point to and say, okay, that's a show that maybe doesn't get made without HBO doing this content. And I think now you're going to see better movies, because there's an avenue for people to make money off of doing a low budget film that's just a good movie. Like, it doesn't have to be some blockbuster in the theater in order for people to make money. They can put it on a streaming service and it has legs, and it can draw people in. And so I'm excited. I think that the more opportunities there are for good stories to be told, the better movie going experience we all get to have, whether that's in the theater or at home. I want more storytellers. I want more diverse storytelling. I want more diverse storytellers. And I want to be able to consume that. And yeah, you're right. Like, being an adult is great because you get choices, right? You can choose to stay home and watch. You can go to the theater and watch. I like that both of those things exist in this world. I do think, though, at some point that the movie theater experience will be a little bit like the drive-in experience, where I'm sure there was a time where people were like, the drive-in's never going away. It's here to stay. We're going to go neck at the drive-in theater, and we'll bring the popcorn, and it'll be delightful. And at some point,
we still have a drive-in here.
I know, bro. I know. You guys are so dear. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about like not great movie-going experiences, is go to a drive-in. At least the ones I've been to.
Yeah.
Bad quality, and
yeah.
People are really just talking and making noise, and, you know, as good as my car speakers are, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, home is better. Stay home. Stay home, people. Wear a mask. Stay home. Help keep movie theaters alive by not killing people in them. So it's good.
Although, if there is an Alamo Drafthouse, go to an Alamo Drafthouse. Those places are great. Have you ever been to an Alamo Drafthouse, Charlie?
I don't remember the Alamo Drafthouse, so you're gonna
have
to
great.
Tell me what that is. I don't know what that is.
It's a movie theater. It's a movie theater, and you can order drinks and food, like, and they just bring it to you in the middle of the theater. It's great.
Okay, so it's like being at home, because you get food and drinks. Only now you're paying $20. Now, how much is a drink? Give me a drink cost.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't quote your prices.
No,
they also have no tolerance for talking. If someone's talking,
good,
they get kicked out. Just like,
wow,
don't do it.
Do they have people in the theaters? Like, they have ushers like kneel down, just ready for someone to make a peep, and then they just run over and drag them out. They're looking for a cell phone to light up, and they're just like, you know,
when I've been to it, they feel like the adult movie theaters. You know, I don't think they even allow kids in. Not like adults.
I'm sorry.
No, Charlie, not.
Are we talking like a Paul Rubens kind of situation here?
No. A grown-up movie theater. I believe they don't allow kids in. You have to be a certain
I hope
age.
they don't.
Oh gosh.
So what they should do, bro, is have a movie theater.
Go to an Alamo Drafthouse, because
the seats
those ones are actually nice.
Like Mr. Burns. So you're sitting in a seat, you make a noise, and it's like the Mr. Burns office in The Simpsons, where the floor just opens up and people just fall through. So it's like a Willy Wonka situation, you know. You kind of like float up. You make a sound, or your cell phone lights up, and it's like, whoa, and then you're flung. No,
something like that.
All right,
something like that.
So we'll start it. We'll open up our own theater.
Oh man. Oh, I don't know if I want
to
do
that. This is
that.
the time. Entrepreneurs, jump in. It's never been a better time to own your own movie theater.
That's okay. So, all right. Well, Charlie, do you have anything more to add to this? I don't think I do.
Look, if you're watching this, and go out there and support your local streaming service. They're the underdogs.
And go and support your local theater. They need it.
I know. Yeah, that's more important.
They're dying.
I suppose Netflix has added so many customers in the first quarter. I forgot the number. I was reading about it. It's wild. Rich people be making money during this quarantine. They be making the money.
Yeah.
But keep your eye out for some good content. Brody, recommend something. Recommend something to the people on the streaming. Give them something to watch. Give them something to watch.
We watched Project Power the other night. It was a next Netflix original with Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It was good. It was like superhero-y. You take a pill and you get powers.
Okay.
Fun. It was fun.
Like a Limitless type thing? Okay.
I don't know what that is.
All right. Well, there you go. We'll watch that.
Yeah. Check it out. And if you don't like it, you could turn it off in 5 minutes.
There you go.
The benefit of streaming.
I'll say season 4 of The Good Place is coming to Netflix this month. I'm excited to watch the end of that. If you have not watched The Good Place, you're missing out. It's a good show. Also, Community is on Netflix. Such a good show.
It is.
Watch Community. Lots of good TV shows these days, bro. Very excited.
And if you're going to the theaters,
TV as well.
see Tenet, because it's Christopher Nolan, so it's got to be good.
You got to see it first, bro. You got to see it, and then tell us to see it.
I don't have to because it's Christopher Nolan, so I know it's going to be good.
All right. Next time we're going to talk about, we're going to rank Christopher Nolan movies. We're going to find one that you didn't like. That's going to be the goal by the end.
I don't think I dislike any of them.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll give it a shot.
I haven't seen The Following. I need to.
Okay. Well, you'll have to watch that because it's great.
Have you seen it?
So on behalf of The Following?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't seen The Following?
You're the worst.
Me? I'm just a big Christopher Nolan fan and a huge Batman fan. Got my comics, got my movie posters, and in my heart, I got Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
He has incepted himself into my heart, bro. There he is. Inseminated right here. So on behalf of Brody and his adult theater watching, I am Charlie. This has been another episode of Talk Punch. If you enjoyed this even slightly, make sure you like and subscribe. Maybe comment below and let us know what you think about going to the theater. Maybe you love it. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you're right in between. Let us know your thoughts and maybe recommend something for us to watch on streaming. Maybe your favorite Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, NBC Peacock, CBS All Access, FXX Extreme. Whatever else you like to watch, let us know, and maybe we'll check it out. We can do some more shows on that in the future. Also, leave a comment below. I'm trying to grow a beard just like Brody's. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm growing it in. This is what I call phase 1 of the Marvel beard growth universe. So we're working on it. We're working real hard. We'll see what we can do. Well, thank you for watching and tuning in, listening, and we hope you're having safe and as pleasant a time as you can in this crazy 2020 where gender reveals are starting fires all over California. It's delightful. So that's so 2020. My gosh. All right. Brody, anything to add? Save me.
No.
Bail me out here, man. I'm struggling. I'm still very upset that this was a gender reveal fire that's going on right now. Stop having gender reveal parties and don't blow things up to find out what gender your baby is. Just people. Jeez.
Yeah, because we're getting all the smoke in Northern Nevada. So that smoke is closing down my schools. And
our son was blood red today. Blood red.
Is keeping 3 kids at home to do distance learning. It's tough.
You heard it. Do it for Brody. No gender reveals for Brody. You want to have a real gender reveal party? Don't find out the gender until the baby's born. Bam.
There you go.
That's a party. I didn't even know she was pregnant. All right.
All right. Like, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. There's a couple guys that just ramble on about stuff.
They do. They talk about stuff.
We got more stuff coming. So keep watching.
More stuff coming. We'll see you.
Keep watching.
Keep watching. We'll see you next time.
Not this episode. Another episode.
No. Right. You should have turned this off minutes ago.
Oh.
Hours ago. I don't know.
I'll do it now.
All right.
Bye.
Love you, B. Adios.
Adios.